Welcome back to Idiots with Pipes. I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Scott. Today we have a very special guest, Eddie, from a new and upcoming pipe channel called The Pipe Nook. You may have heard of it on YouTube, probably not, but we have him here with us today.
Thanks. Good to be here then.
All right, so today we're going to be smoking one of Eddie's favorite tobaccos, Haunted Bookshop. Now, Eddie, what all's in Haunted Bookshop?
Well, Haunted Bookshop is Virginia's, Burley, and a little bit of Perique. Not a whole lot of Perique, just a little Perique.
Just enough to add a little spice, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not... Actually, I don't... Perique can do different things in blends. I don't consider Haunted Bookshop to be super spicy.
Okay.
Just a slight
That smells good.
little something extra.
First time I smelled that, actually. I've never had it.
Like the difference between Coke and Dr. Pepper.
What are we drinking, Jeremiah?
So Eddie is put together his top 3 list of favorite IPAs, and he's going to explain to us why IPA is a superior beer, and anyone who disagrees is a complete loser. Eddie, take it away.
Ouch. Well, no, I like all kinds of beers, but IPAs have been my favorites for the past
Here, here.
probably 10 years. I remember the first time I had an IPA, it was absolutely disgusting to my palate of lagers, and yeah, kind of like that.
Yep.
The occasional stout, you know, but IPA is a really sharp flavor. So I kind of liken it to, if you like really sharp cheeses, and I mean really sharp aged cheeses.
Yeah. I
Um,
do.
Perique, which we're going to pair a little bit of Perique with it. Those are the kind of flavors that kind of go with IPAs, or the kind of flavor profiles I would think of when I think of an IPA.
Should have had some cheese with this. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The sharp must be the rat pea that gives that really sharp flavor. It does have a pea in it. So,
There's always a hater that likes watered down, whatever it is.
a real beer. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, so Jeremiah,
Oh, no.
did we say which IPA this was?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so I made a top 10 list that really turned into a top 12 list with special mentions beyond that.
Because
I had
with special mention.
I love
They're great.
IPAs.
You know, I agree with you, sir.
There are so many good ones out there.
I beg to differ, but okay.
But it was really hard to come up with a top 3. This is my number 3. This is the Voodoo Ranger by New Belgium. New Belgium's known for their Fat Tire lager. But this is their straight-on standard IPA. It's just called Voodoo Ranger. They make 5 or 6 different Voodoo Ranger editions at this point.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, they make an Imperial. They make some that are tropical flavored and that kind of stuff. This is my favorite, though. It's 7% alcohol, which to me, an IPA, I like to be in the 6 to 8% range for an IPA.
68%?
6 to 8.
Oh, okay. That's like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
45% for my whiskey. Thanks.
So
68.
seven's right there. I mean, I consider this like one of the 2 gold standards for me of IPAs.
Tell me about this enormous cube of ice in your beer, please.
Okay, so first off, I don't do this with lager beers, but this has kind of become my MO for IPAs. I like to drink it with ice. And what that does, I got this trick from a friend of mine who is Thai, of Thai descent. And he says in Thailand, lots of people ice their beers. It's really hot over there. And they drink light beers and they ice them. I don't tend to like, lighter beers like lagers with ice, but it kind of waters down the IPA a little bit. One other thing it does, it kind of takes the edge off, but one other thing it does is when you pour it, the head's gone now, but it helps me get a nice frothy, creamy head on the top of the pour.
It's also, I like it because it waters it down a little bit, so the pea slightly more tolerable. Just
Slightly.
slightly.
I think
Yeah.
putting ice in beer is one of the number one, at least it's in the top 5 signs of a psychopath, I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
I think. I don't know. I'm not saying,
Who
I'm
could
on
say?
your side. Remember that. I'm just saying.
Okay. I
We're
don't,
all friends. We're friends.
don't see an ice in your beer. Then.
Well, I said I'm on your side and said I was going to drink watered down beer.
Anything to make an IPA better, I'm in. Because it's,
Well, if you're going to drink 2 or 3 in a night, IPAs tend to dry you out. I don't know if you've had that experience. Like, if you have 2 or 3 IPAs without having water in between, you're going to feel dehydrated.
Yeah.
Or at least I feel dehydrated. So the ice helps with that too.
Yeah. The alcohol content's a little higher than the 0.5% you're accustomed to.
My number 2, which we are not drinking right now, is also a 7% IPA. And that would be Bell's Two Hearted. Bell's Two Hearted and the Voodoo Ranger, to me, are just neck and neck of what I think of when I think of an IPA.
so now we got this. I was going to say great IPA. We have an IPA. It's a beer with stuff in it, but my pipe's empty. So how about we get these pipes packed
Yeah,
and see how this pairing is that you rave about.
let's do it.
All right,
Okay.
so let's get these things lit.
That is quite the jackhammer sound on that
Thanks.
that lighter there. I've heard it in the videos, but in the room, it's something altogether different.
So we were up here, not too, right after you got it. And my wife asked me the next day, did you hear that, like the smoke alarm chirping the whole time y'all were filming? No, I didn't hear anything. And she was like, I heard it the whole time. I'm surprised y'all didn't hear it because it came from like the garage or upstairs. Well, I don't know. And then she watched that episode, and the first time he did it, she went, that's the sound. That's just Jeremiah's new. So every time I hear it, I think my wife's downstairs going, oh, again.
This is good.
Yeah.
I like this. First time I've had it.
Not
Nice
bad.
flavor.
Not bad. It's a little less
Too sharp for
sweaty,
your
Jim's
palate.
sock smelling. A little more taste.
It's not a Perique powerhouse like some other blends. Cornell and Deal makes one called Exclusive that is crazy strong with Perique. I can't remember. I think maybe 50% Perique.
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to smoke some 100% Perique not too long ago. It was different, but it wasn't too bad. I didn't really get as much spice. It was very smooth. I can't even tell you where it came from.
Surprisingly smooth.
It was.
Perique, in my experience, can be a chameleon. So smoking it straight doesn't really give you an indication of how it's going to sit in a blend. Here, it just adds a little tiny bit of something that I can't put my finger on in the Haunted Bookshop. Briar Fox is a Virginia Burley blend, and I think it's just half Virginia, half Burley.
Okay.
And this reminds me of that, just with some undefinable character to it that has got to be coming from the Perique.
Yeah, let's try this pairing.
Oh, dear.
I really like it. I really do. You're not a huge fan of the Haunted Bookshop?
It's not as bad as it was when I first got it 2 years ago. It's a little more tolerable. So I don't know if the age mellowed out the Perique or whatever I don't like in it. But this is not bad, and this does pair decently.
Nice.
I just
Maybe the two P's cancel each other out, the P and the Perique.
imagine him sitting in a bookshop, like that Tower of Terror ride or something, that creepy old hotel.
Some haunted place, yeah, it really does.
Mm.
So that's a very interesting half a pipe you got there. I don't see the stem. It looks camouflage sort. Oh, there it is. So what kind of pipe you got going on there?
This is a Savinelli. I say camouflage. I think it's pronounced camouflage.
Okay.
Savinelli camouflage pipe. This is the 642 shape, which is one of my favorite shapes. It's kind of like a bent ball type affair,
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jeremiah, what you got over there?
I've got the Peterson Emerald 221 once again.
Well, since you're not going to ask, I have.
Hang on a second. Why, Scott, my good man,
Sir.
What are you smoking out of
Oh,
there, sir?
I'm glad you asked. But I have a Missouri Meerschaum corncob bent Boone. It's a nice pipe, good sized bowl, but it is a lot heavier than I was expecting. But it is one of my favorites. Got the green stem, normally a St. Patty's Day pipe for me. But
Probably why it's so bent is all the weight just kind of pulled.
it was straight.
Yeah.
It actually had a slight incline on it, but
yeah,
just
I get that.
holding it, it'll be a full bent before you know it.
I'm sure being a newer channel like you are, you probably have a few questions for us. Like I remember, breaking into that first 1,000 subscribers is tough. We were there,
Yeah.
very recently we were trying to break
Yeah,
past the 500 mark.
Just the other day, we're still trying to break through.
So I'm sure you probably have some questions for Scott, such as how we got as big as we are, how we got to 500
I think so. Yeah, just over
subscribers.
5.
Yeah. So
One day you'll be as famous as we are. One day.
Yeah. Have you guys watched my channel at all? Are you
Did we do that op-ed
What's it,
research?
the-
out?
familiar?
the pipe crook.
Crook. I think it's way a crook.
Mm.
Is it?
All right, this interview's over.
So tell us a little more about this tobacco. Is it one of your tops, or just I know it's one of your go-tos, right?
This has become Haunted Bookshop has become my daily go-to tobacco.
Okay.
So if I smoke 3 bowls in a day, which I usually smoke 2 or 3, Haunted Bookshop is almost always one of those 3. Sometimes 2 of those 3.
Nice. Okay.
So it's just become kind of like the Voodoo Ranger, just like the standard for what I think tobacco should taste like. It's kind of just a baseline for me. It's not a bang it out of the park kind of home run, just best taste you've ever had, but I know exactly what to expect from a bowl of Haunted Bookshop when I load my pipe. Briar Fox is quickly becoming another go-to that I mentioned to you before, but Virginia Burley. This is that Virginia Burley with just that bit of Perique. It gives almost a sour note. If I had to put some sort of moniker on it,
Okay.
slightly sour note, kind of like what Orientals might give to a blend. But Perique can be really spicy in other blends. People talk about it being really peppery in certain blends. In Shanae's Cake, which is another heavy Perique blend, it's just really musty. It's like a mushroomy type dank cellar taste and smell,
Okay.
which that's one of those weird things that doesn't sound great, but it tastes good to certain people in a pipe, in a pipe blend.
It smells kind of musty smells. Probably what I don't know what it is that gives it that smell, but I sensed it when I first got to the Haunted Bookshop. So I don't know if it's Burley, Perique, Burley. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't smell it as much anymore.
Yeah. It mellows out over time, I think. And you said this had some age to it.
It's about 2 years of age on it.
Do you taste a good bit difference between now and then, or just barely? Because I like this. Do I have to wait 2 years? Is what I'm wondering.
Well, I mean,
Tastes good.
if you like it, I mean, smoke it.
That's what I'm doing.
Honestly, I don't remember because it's so long ago because I smoked it. Actually, I think I don't know if I even smoked it. I smelled it when no. But I do like the taste in this. It really does taste pretty good. And speaking of Englishes, we compared Northwoods to Frogmorton. And so we'd read a lot of reviews. We heard that's what, compared most to it. However, our buddy Eddie here graced us with a couple bowls of Frogmorton.
Good buddy
About 10 years of age on it. And I must say, it does not compare to Northwoods. Now
Not even the same.
Now the tin note is similar. Went back in and smelled, Northwoods. The tin note is similar, but beyond that, they're so different. So I guess we'll take back what our whole video was on before. Northwoods, not really the same as Frogmorton. So appreciate that. Let us try that unicorn. That was very good.
Yeah.
Sure thing. But I do want to say, I don't want to take anything away from the Northwoods.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong.
Boswell's makes great tobacco.
I love Northwoods. I have 4 more ounces on the way, so I can age it a couple of years, because that was pretty good, aged a couple of years.
Yeah, you know what? Age some Northwoods for 10 years and see how it,
Okay, we'll get back to you on that in 10 years. If it compares to Frogmorton at 10.
So
All right.
I couldn't help but notice these glasses magically filled up again when we drank them down, and the beer's a slightly different color. Would this happen to be your number one beer?
This is my number one beer.
Okay.
I'm going to caveat that by saying there is another that is more readily available that I could interchange with this as my number one.
Wait a second. Didn't we have 27 top, 37 honorable mentions? We had a definitive number one. Now it's a tie.
Well, it's because this is only available in this area.
Okay. Well, then we're in the right area.
There we go. So what is this one? That is available to just us.
This is called Lil Napoleon.
Lil Napoleon.
L-I-L.
Gangster. Lil Napoleon.
Lil Napoleon.
I like that.
And it's made by Pensacola Bay Brewery.
Yeah, okay.
Which they make some phenomenal beers. This is my personal favorite. It is a little bit lighter. It's pretty close to the other two beers that I've talked about already. The Voodoo Ranger and the Bell's Two Hearted.
Okay.
This is 6.7% ABV. Okay. And it's got just a little certain something that sets it apart. Kind of like the Haunted Bookshop and the Parade.
Okay.
I kind of think of it as almost like an Irish red beer mixed with an IPA.
It looks more like an Irish red. Yeah. I was going to say it's significantly darker than the other one, but...
And I really think you may be onto something there. They may have done some tricks with how you would brew an Irish red.
That wasn't me, that was you. But yeah, I'll take the credit. Yeah, I'm on to something, guys.
And the rat pea is still added. Good stuff.
You know, this is good, by the way. I'm a big fan of Lil Napoleon. It is one of my favorite IPAs as well. But I do, now that you say that, I can't figure out what that is, but I almost taste like...
It's almost like a candied pecan type taste to me.
Okay.
Just something a little different.
You get that? You get candied pecan?
No, I love candied pecans. It's I don't taste it.
I see the candied pecan.
It's got the same color.
It reminds me of a red, like a red and an IPA.
Yeah.
It's very good, though. It is one of my favorites.
Sitting between you two, I feel like Pee Wee Herman in that scene where he's got the bellboy, he's got the bellhop uniform, and he's like in between, like at the end of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Yeah, so my alternate number one, in place of the Napoleon, if you can't get Lil Napoleon where you live, would be Elysian Space Dust. Which Elysian Space Dust is a little bit heavier of a beer. I think it's 8.2% ABV.
I like it.
Okay.
But man, it is a nice IPA.
Eddie, we know you absolutely love this experience. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, so
I'm glad
glad
you got this opportunity to see what it's like, you know?
Yeah, now that we're at the top of the mountain, we wanted to reach our hand down and pull the next man out.
That's right.
Now we really appreciate you being on here.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm between two ferns.
I don't know how to take that.
Thanks.
Are we done?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This interview's over. Eddie?
What,